Hello, everyone watching this back. So, like the title says, I'm just going to be doing some organizing because the girls' drawer is very messy. The boys' drawer is messy too, but it's definitely not as bad as the girls because I just kind of take their stuff out and I don't often have enough time when I'm changing them to throw all their stuff back in there nicely. I used to keep it up, but I've just been so busy that I haven't been able to fix it, and you get overwhelmed. And I'm also going to be working probably on a reborn Presley, who is actually reborn Presley is over here. I'm waiting for the veins to dry. You really can't see. You can kind of see on his forehead the veins. Um, I'm going to be working on him in this video a little bit too, starting off the beginning layers on him. He will be available, by the way. I'm likely going to leave him bald because he has such a nice head shape. So I'll probably leave him bald. Um, he's going to be a darker skin tone. If you saw my Dustin, my real-born Dustin, he's going to be that skin tone, but blended a little bit better. Uh, but yeah, he'll be available. This is actually, this kit right here, I was so excited to get, and the lady who sold him to me didn't actually like overprice him, which she totally could have done because he's long sold out limited edition Realborn. He was actually, I found out, was the first Realborn back in 2014. So she definitely could have overcharged for him, and she didn't. And I'm so excited that I got to paint him because I've always liked this kit. I've always liked Reborn Presley, but you can almost never find this kit blank or painted, really. So I was really excited that I got him, and he wasn't ridiculously overpriced. But like I said, he will be available, and because I bought him at a good price, that means I'll be selling him at a decent price. If he was overpriced, I would also have to charge to make up the difference. But he'll be the same price as my realborns normally are, which is 350. So he's so cute though. Um, but yeah, we're gonna organize because, like I said, it's a mess. My drawers, these two bottom drawers are the girls' drawers. The rest of the drawers are actually my clothes, but you can see, wow, it's just so I'm gonna take out, and I even have this pile from the big box opening that I haven't been able to put away because the drawers were so messy. But this is all newborn stuff. So first we're gonna go through the, this is Emerson's drawer, who, by the way, I've had for actually a year now. But we're gonna go through her drawer first because this is the 0 to 3 months, and I'm actually gonna switch their. Well, actually, no, this is a newborn drawer, so never mind. We'll go through the newborn first. This is um, all my newborn girl stuff, and then we'll put that stuff away, which is also newborn girls. And then Emerson's drawers on the bottom. I got confused by the overalls for a second. Um, but yeah, you can see it's just really, really chaotic in there. Same thing for Emerson's drawer. It's just really chaotic. So thought I'd go live because I haven't been live in a while. I assume this is a bad time for most people because I know a lot of people are eating right now. You can probably see the lights. But yeah, I'm going to organize like all of this. I'm just going to throw it out of the... You can see all my stuff in the background. Hello. I'm sure more people will join in, but it's dinner time. But I eat later. I have a weird schedule. I eat much later, so I'm not really hungry yet. But I have like, this is just so much. Um, I might decide to get rid of some things. So you guys might see that, me like trying to decide if I'm gonna get rid of some of this newborn girl stuff because I just have so much. And I haven't talked about it, but over the summer, my actual apartment, which by the way I have been approved, like I'm actually getting that apartment. It's going to be a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. So I'm very excited because that means that second bedroom is going to be my painting room slash an actual baby, like a nursery. So super excited. I'll be doing, of course, like apartment tours. nursery tours, when I'm shopping for stuff for the nursery, all of that. And like I'm gonna be making stuff for the nursery myself, like doing art for that and stuff. Um, I'm super excited, but my lease there doesn't start until August, and I didn't want to go stay at my mom's for like a whole 3 months. So in the meantime, I'm gonna be staying in my college town, and I'll be in a studio apartment just for those few months from May to when my lease starts in August. Um, which sucks because the studio is very, very, very tiny. So I'm going from a college dorm room to a studio, and then finally into a two-bedroom um, in August. So I have to kind of like the studio is tiny, you guys. It's really tiny. It's less than 300 square feet. So while all the stuff I have in this room will fit in there, it's just going to be a really tight squeeze. I'm not looking forward to staying there, but I am looking forward to staying in town because that means I can get an actual job that's not a work study job and just continue to work that for additional money. Um, it's a sacrifice staying in that studio, but we will make it through. And then, like I said, in August, very beginning of August, I'll be in my two-bedroom. So I'll have all the room in the world that I need because it's just going to be just me. Um, I have put myself in the financial position where I can afford a two-bedroom by myself. So, not to toot my own horn, but um, sorry about the lighting. I'm very, very, very proud of myself for being able to do that. Um, I'll get a refund from the school, and that's mostly actually what I'll be paying my rent with. Is you get like a refund from financial aid, and that's where most of my rent money will come out of. But even if that I don't get as much as I thought from that, I just will be making enough in general to afford a two-bedroom. So I'm just I'm so excited. Like from for the past like oh gosh, I don't know how many years, 6 years at least, I've been in like temporary homes, temporary places that didn't feel like home. Obviously, with the dorms, they kick you out over winter breaks, summer breaks, so it never really feels like home because first of all, they can come to your room anytime they want, and then like they can kick you out when it's a break. So it never really feels like home here. But I should be staying at this apartment for at least 2 years. So I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of like decorating, like actual decorating. I've been so excited. I've been like, I'm going to be refinishing furniture. It's going to be great, you guys. I'm so excited. School is, it's going. I'm stressed, but I'm always stressed, but that's because of the path I'm on. I'm pre-med, so it's very stressful, especially this semester because I'm taking physics and organic chemistry at the same time, which are two of the hardest prerequisites for med school, and it'll be the same for me next semester too because I have to take organic 2 and physics 2. And those also have a lab, like organic chem 1 has a lab, physics 1 has a lab too. So all of that. I actually have a physics exam tomorrow, but I decided I wanted to go live to kind of de-stress because if I think about it too much, it'll make me panic and spiral. It's not that physics is hard. It's just a lot of math. It's all math, and to get to one answer, you have to do like literally like 9 equations to get to one answer, and it's just so pointless. I hate it. Um, Organic chemistry, I'm actually doing really well, surprisingly. Knock on wood. I'm a little afraid that I'm doing so well, but I just took a quiz today and I do not think I did well on it, but we'll see because I don't know. Right now, I am actually ranked in his class 11th out of over 160 students. So that should tell you how well I'm doing. I have a 92 in his class, 91, 92 right now. Um, so I'm doing really, really well in organic. I'm doing well in all my classes. Like I have all A's and B's, but it's just like, oh, so much work. But yeah, that's how school is. We only have like 40 days left of this semester, so I'm thinking positively that I will make it through. And if I can make it through this semester, I can make it through my last, hopefully my last semester of college. I will be unfortunately, I'm going to be a fifth year senior because of all the prereqs that I had to take in addition to my actual major. My major is philosophy, and then I will by the time I graduate, I'll have two minors in biology and chemistry. So yeah, I went on a different path than my degree was assigned for. So basically, what I'm saying is, with my degree, I'm done. Like I have my degree. I'm done with my bio minor. The only thing left that I'm trying to now finish is that chemistry minor and the last bit of my prereqs for med school. So that's why I'm going to end up as a fifth year senior, which is fine. I'm not trying to rush it because I know eventually I'll get to where I need to be, which is med school. It's just going to take a little bit longer for me, which, a lot of people it doesn't go quickly anyways. Um how did I get started with reborning? That's a good question. Um I had been in and out of the reborn community since 2012. I've always been artistic. I've always been an artist. Um, and like what 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago now, I decided that I wanted to get back into actively collecting. Um, but I was having trouble finding affordable black reborns. Like they were all ridiculously overpriced. Um, when you compare them to like the Caucasian reborns, they were just super expensive for me at the time. So I was like, you know what? I've always been artistic. Let me spend the money, which at that time was basically half the cost of an actual like reborn, buying it from an artist. So I bought all the supplies and I was like, well, let me try it because, like I said, I have that background in art. I actually the high school I went to was an art school. So I was like, it's worth the shot. Like, I might suck at it or I might be decent at it. So yeah, I turns out I was pretty decent at it starting from the beginning. So that definitely, made I'm folding up their little pants right now. Um, that definitely, was encouraging that my first doll didn't turn out a horrendous wreck. So I just kept going from there, and then I did my first biracial doll, and I was hooked. I was like, well, now I mean, now that I can reach, darker, at least darker than Caucasian skin tones, I'm just gonna keep going until I keep getting better, and I'm still getting better every doll. I think I do something better each time. And if I mess up, it's a part of the learning process because I'm still a very, very new artist. But that's basically like how I started, why I started. Um, but like I said, not everyone's gonna be like me where their first doll was okay. It wasn't amazing, of course. It was my literally first time trying to paint, so it wasn't like amazing, but like it was okay. The doll was okay. But I know a lot of people, their first doll is going to be not great at all. Like, and that's okay. It's just knowing that your doll is not okay. Like, I see new artists all the time that don't know how to take critique, or they get offended when you're like, hey, you're overpricing that horribly painted doll. Um, and, I just recently got blocked by someone who literally asked on one of the Facebook groups. She was like, "What does how be honest? I'm not afraid of criticism." She was like, "What do you think of this doll?" And I was like, "Ah." And then I was reading the comments, and then she commented how much she was going to sell it for, and I was like, "Girl, that is overpriced for the quality of the work that it was." And she got so mad that like she blocked me. I was like, "Okay, look. You asked for honest opinions. You asked for honest feedback. I gave you honest feedback, and you just didn't want to accept it." Like the doll was bad. It was like you could see all the brush strokes. and you could see like it was so chalky and so bad. It was so bad. And she was trying to sell it for $425. That's what she said that she was going to sell it for. It was a Nino. I get that the Nino kit is expensive, but at that point, no. That's overpriced for the work. Like it was way overpriced. I've seen Ninos go for around $400 that were actually well done. That's why I was like, nah. You got to know at some point that your work's not worth what you're asking for. You might feel that it's worth what you're asking for because you put a lot of work into it, but part of selling anything, like if you're in any kind of business, you actually need to know what it's actually worth. Like you can't just you could sell anything at any price you want, but that doesn't mean that it's right or that it's ethical um, to do so. But yeah, she got so mad. I was like, look, if you're going to ask for advice, honey, I'm going to give you the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not the kind of person that was just sugarcoat it and be like, oh, it looks great. Yeah, that's a great price. Oh, you did a good job. No, I'm going to tell you the truth if you ask for the truth. She just couldn't handle it. um, so that was interesting. And my friend messaged me afterwards. It was like, well, she asked for the truth. I was like, I know. People. Some people. But that happens a lot when people think that they can take critique, but they really can't. Um, and then I turn out looking like an a-hole, even though that's what they asked for was the truth. People are funny like that, but you know, I try to my best. If someone asks me how a doll looks, I will straight up tell you my full thoughts. I will not hold back because I know my work's not perfect either. So it's like you have to know what your worth is, regardless of how much time or effort you think you spent on said doll. If the outcome is just not good, it's just not good. And that means you have to just keep practicing. I mean, that doesn't mean like your work will never be good just because her work was bad on that. Literally, her first doll that she ever painted, by the way, that was literally the first doll she ever painted. You can't expect perfection on the first time, and um, just because your first doll isn't worth what you want it to be worth, that doesn't mean you just give up. That means you sell it for what it's actually worth, and you might not make a profit, which is normal on your first few dolls. You might not make a profit. You might just make the cost of supplies back. Um, that doesn't mean give up right away because then you'll definitely not get better um, if you just quit. But so I hope she doesn't quit painting, but I also hope that she gets better at if she says she wants critique to actually be able to take critique. But yeah, that was one of the worst um, skin tones I've seen. It was just very, very uneven. Um, nothing she could really do about it either. And everyone else was trying to tell her like the only way that you're gonna save this doll, which by the way, again, it's a sold out kit, which you would want to save that kit. The only way to save that doll really was for her to start over, completely strip the doll and start over, which is usually not that hard. It's tedious, but stripping a kit is really not that hard. It's just takes time and effort, which a lot of people don't want to do. But yeah, sorry about that side rant. That just really like was so ridiculous to me that she blocked me after asking. I could get if she like okay, I can understand if she didn't ask for honest critique and I said something like, it's not worth what you're asking. I could understand then if she blocked me because then I would just be being an a-hole. But yeah, I've got all these newborn girl clothes and I don't even change them that often. But I will definitely, I don't know if people coming in missed it, but I will, starting in August, I will have my own 2-bedroom apartment. And one of the rooms is going to be a nursery slash my painting room. Um, and I am definitely going to be changing them more because I'll actually have a place to like sit them out and change them. I'll be getting a crib and all that kind of stuff. Um, so should be a lot easier to change them because here I don't really have a surface to change them on. Usually when I change their clothes, it's in on I have them like on the bouncer or like in a chair, but it's not it's not aesthetically pleasing. It's not as nice as if I had like an actual surface for them. Um, so I'm looking forward to that for sure. That's definitely a big. I'm so excited. I keep talking about it because I'm so excited. It's finally happening. I'm finally gonna have an apartment. Um, so I've been watching like all these YouTube videos about refinishing furniture because my plan is to be able to furnish my whole entire apartment, two bedrooms, one bath, kitchen, living room. I'm planning to spend less than $1,000 to furnish the whole place. Um, it's definitely doable. I've been looking around at prices, and because I plan on buying like 90% of the furniture secondhand, I'm going to be well under that budget. Um, I wanted to buy all the furniture secondhand because, first of all, it's better for the environment. Um, and then, second of all, I can put my own touches on the furniture. So I'm going to be repainting, sanding, all of that. I also will have a deck. So I'll be doing that, all that refinishing of the furniture and stuff on my deck. So, um, yeah, I'll take you guys along to the through with the journey of, you know, moving into my apartment, all of that. So that'll be exciting. Nursery tours, all of that, because I'll have a real nursery. I already have a nursery theme and everything, so I'm so excited. Hi, Miss Debbie. Yeah, I know. I'm so excited about that. My own apartment. It's and at the same time, also, I'll be getting my own car very soon, probably May, early June at the latest, because I'm actually currently learning how to finally drive. It's a long story of why it took me this long, but long story short, I'm finally learning to drive. I've got my learner's permit, and soon I'll be eligible to get my actual full license, and then I'll be getting a car um, very soon. So that's also happening all at the same time, which, yes, I know a lot of money I'm going to be spending soon. Like soon I'm getting the lease to sign for my apartment. And I have to pay the deposit and all that. So things are gonna get expensive, but that's being an adult and having that freedom is worth it to me. Um, plus my apartment is a really good price, especially for this area. Rent in this town is ridiculously overpriced. So I got extremely lucky that I found my two bedroom at the price that I did. Um, I'm just so excited that I got it at that price, and it's nice because another thing is even if you get a cheaper price, usually the apartments are really ugly and really messed up, not well kept in this town. But yeah, mine is going to be nice. It's not like it's not new looking, but it's also well actually yeah, the bathrooms and stuff, everything looks pretty new actually. And it may or may not have like this carpet or it might have they said it may have carpet or it might have like a laminate floor that looks like wood, which is what I actually have in this dorm. I hope it's the wood looking tiles, but I'm fine with like carpet. I don't really care, but the only thing I don't like about how the apartment looks is that it has a cherry wood trim in the rooms. I hate cherry wood. Like it's so orangey and I hate the color, but I'm gonna talk to them and I might be able to refinish it, go over it, repaint it, all the trim, and I am definitely willing to do that since I will hopefully be there, like I said, for at least 2 years before I go to med school. So, um, and all it would do was increase their value for them because it'll make the apartment look more modern if I went ahead and refinished the trim, so or paid someone to do it, because I would definitely also be willing to pay out of my pocket to have that more updated look, since I want it to be my home for a couple of years. So it's something I would definitely be willing to spend money on, especially because I'm not going to be spending that much money on furniture. Um, and it already and the apartment already has a fridge and stuff, so I also won't be spending money on that either. It has all that stuff. The only thing also the apartment doesn't have is a washer and dryer, which is fine with me because the coin laundry is literally like down the street, and for years and years and years, me and my mom, we didn't have a washer and dryer. So it's not it wasn't a deal breaker for me because I grew up with that for a while. Like we had to use the coin laundry, and back then we didn't even have a car, so we had to like walk across to get to the coin laundry with all of our stuff. So by that time I'll have a car and it'll be fine because that's just not. I only do laundry like once a week. So for me, at the price that I got my apartment, it was definitely worth that sacrifice. Um, for a little bit of inconvenience once a week. I mean, I like I don't know, you guys. It's not a deal. It's definitely not a deal breaker for me to not have a washer and dryer in my actual apartment. Um, I know a lot of people would have been a deal breaker, but I don't really care that much. I'm one person and I don't make that much laundry in general, so it'd be like one load once a week. That's another thing. Like that is going to be good about me living alone is yes, I'll have to pay all the bills myself, but it won't ever be that expensive because it's going to be literally just me. um, so electric is separate and Wi-Fi is separate, but like I said, it's just me, so it won't ever get that expensive, even in the winter because I like the cold. So even my dorm, I keep it really cold, even through the winter. So um, I don't know. I just thought through everything. I thought like I'm really responsible financially. So I even like before I even started looking at apartments, I calculated of average how much I would be making, even if I worked a minimum wage job, which most jobs actually in this town don't start at minimum wage. They start around 9. So, but I did it based off of minimum wage, and if I continue to make the dolls, which I will be, obviously. In fact, I'll be expanding in this space. I'll be getting another oven so I can work faster, actually. But yeah, no, like I calculated how much I could make per month, how much, utilities, the average utility cost. I calculated everything. Car insurance, gas, which I won't be spending that much on gas because I'm going from point A to point B. But and this town is really small, so it's like, where are you gonna go? Nowhere. Um, but yeah, and it's funny because I know a lot of people may do not think through all of that, but I've always been very, very financially responsible. So um, I thought through everything before I even started looking for apartments. But like I said, most of my rent will be covered by financial aid refund. Thank goodness. So I don't have to really worry about that. Um, and when I start working a job over the summer that's going to continue on, uh, most of that will just be like extra savings and fun money that will come from that job, or vice versa. The reborning will become like a source of fun money, um, probably just extra money so that I can actually, because I want to travel. I want to start like going on trips and stuff, especially because I will be driving very shortly, like I said, and I'll have a car. So my hope is that eventually I can get to the point where I'm comfortable enough to drive myself to like neighboring states and exploring. And COVID's nearing the end of its time as being in a pandemic. So we're getting closer to normalcy as the days go by. I mean, I'm fully vaccinated now at this point, so I'll be traveling regardless because now I don't really have to worry. I mean, there's a small chance still that I could still get COVID, but it's very tiny. Um, but yeah, I've been fully vaccinated now for going on 3 weeks tomorrow. So, in fact, for my birthday this year, we're gonna go. Hopefully, me and my best friend are gonna actually be going to Nashville, Tennessee. I've never been. It's like 5 hours from here, so I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited to go to Nashville, hopefully. That's the plan anyway. We'll see, but you know how things are with plans. But yeah, my birthday is actually coming up. My birthday is April 12th, which is next month. I'll actually put this over here. I will be turning 22, which is so weird to me. I know that's not old, but to me it's like, wow, what the heck? When did that happen? When did I end up being 22? But yeah, I'll be 22 in less than a month. It's so bizarre. Got all this newborn stuff, but actually it's not that much once I actually fold it. It doesn't look like that crazy. I'll show you guys in a second. I'm folding up the last few pieces now. But yeah, mostly what I'm excited about this summer is that I can, go back and I can actually see my Nana. So at some point I'll take a trip to Maryland to actually visit my family up there because my Nana's been vaccinated now. And so have a couple of my aunts. So I'll be able to visit them as well. I don't know if you knew about the CDC saying that, if you're vaccinated and other people are vaccinated, you can go visit them and you don't have to wear a mask and you don't have to social distance. So I can actually like hug my Nana and my aunts and stuff, and it'll be all fine. So that's what I mean by like I'm feeling finally, a year later, I'm starting to feel optimistic. Like my last video was talking about how it's been a year and how crazy this year has been, but finally starting to feel optimistic about things coming to a end. What a crazy story this will be, though, for when I have actual living kids. It'll be so crazy to talk to them and be like, when I was in my early 20s, we went through a pandemic and I survived. Knock on wood. I survived. Got vaccinated, made it through the other side. What a crazy time. Okay, so this drawer is done, and that means now, let me see. We'll move on to the next drawer, but you can see it's a lot more organized than when I started, because that was chaotic as I don't know what. Definitely more organized. And then I'm gonna do Emerson's drawer, but I think let me check to see if his veins should be dry at this point. I'm talking about the reborn. This is reborn Presley that I'm working on in this video. He was the first reborn, like I said earlier, back in 2014. He's a sold out limited edition reborn. The first few reborns were all, I think, sold out limited edition. Well, they were all limited edition and they're all sold out now for sure. But he will be completed. I hope to have most of his painting done by the weekend, but it's a busy week, so we'll see. But yeah, his veins are dry, so I'm gonna pop them in the oven. He should fit all together. Yeah, he'll definitely fit. He's got his arms are 3/4 length, so they'll fit for sure. Very tiny. Oh, I think most of the first realborns were 3/4 arms. Which is fine. I mean, I'm glad he has full legs. His legs are full, so got a little leg here and a little leg here, and then he'll fit all in together. Okay, but yeah, like I said, once I get into my apartment in August, I will be getting another oven so that I can bake two dolls at the same time, um, and not have to wait for one to finish baking, cool down, make the oven, get back to its point where it wants to be okay, then put the second kit in. Um, it'll make things go a lot faster. And plus, that room, that second bedroom, that'll be the nursery slash paint room, will has two windows in it, so it'll be nice and ventilated, and everything will be great. I'm so excited. And um, the rental company was really really nice. I told them how I was an artist and how important lighting is. So when I was actually choosing apartment with them, they actually helped me a lot. They were like, well, this one is this way and it's facing this to this light, so its lighting is not great. This one has okay lighting, but this one, the apartment that I'm actually going to be in, has the best lighting. um, so because I applied early enough, I was able to choose the actual unit in the building. And she was very, very helpful, helping me find the one with the best lighting. So that's also really, really good. I was very happy with that. She was so nice and accommodating about that. Super understanding about me being an artist. So, yep, my apartment should have good lighting too. Much better lighting anyway, and than this place. Um, for it to be a new dorm, like this building is brand new, just opened up this year. For this building to be new, the lighting in here sucks for the most part. Like you can probably tell in my older pictures now I've got new lighting, but uh, it sucks because what they did was, well, my room is facing the back, and they're building a whole other dorm back there. So that new dorm that's going to be open at some point is now blocking all the light that would have come in, like, to my room if they had not put it there. So it sucks, but I've managed to make it work with the lighting I have. But it'll be nice to not have to like worry as much about lighting because I won't be blocked by a whole nother building, hopefully. But yeah, now I'm going through Emerson's drawer, which a lot of this stuff she hasn't even worn. Like I don't think I've taken pictures of her in this yet. I got this a while ago. But let's take everything out because her drawer is just as messy. It might be even messier. It looks like that. So obviously we need to organize that. Um, it's definitely messy, but we're gonna fix it right now. I yeah. So because I'm going from here to a studio and then my apartment, um, I have to condense things a little bit because it's about the same size, I think, as my dorm room because it's so tiny. It might be a little bit bigger, but it's gonna be kind of different because here I fit a lot of stuff because my bed is lofted. I'm actually under my bed right now. Um, my bed is lofted like 4 feet up off the ground. Um, so obviously that makes a lot more storage room when your bed is lofted. So that put me in a weird position because this place, the ceilings aren't high enough to loft a bed that high. So I had to figure out, well, what am I going to do? Because that will eliminate a lot of space that I have. I think I'm going to still have the bed lofted. I'm still going to have a lofted frame, but it's only going to be like 18 inches off the ground. So I'm going to have to get drawers for them, more drawers for them. I already have a set of drawers for the boys' stuff, but I'm going to have to get another like bins to go under the bed because otherwise this is just not going to work at all. Um, Luckily, I mean, I'm not bringing my fridge. That's going to be sold because this place has a fridge, like a normal size fridge, like a real fridge. So I won't have that fridge. I'm going to that. That is my makeshift pantry, that little shelf right there. That's going to be, I'm going to be like making that flat. I'm not going to be using that in the studio because I don't need to, because the studio has a small kitchen in it. So I'll be using the cabinets instead. So I won't need that. So that won't be taking up any space. Um, I'll probably be condensing what you're sitting on right now, which is my supplies rack. I'm going to have to figure out how to condense this thing and fit it somewhere in there. We're going to make it work. I'm very good with spatial awareness. So, well, that fell. I didn't have you leaned up right. There you go. But yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. We'll make everything fit. I don't have that much furniture. Otherwise, I have like that chair, but that chair folds up. I've got that set of my cube organizer, which I know exactly where that's gonna go. So that's not really a concern. But yeah, I'll be getting rid of some stuff. But it's weird because, like I said, like I'm going from here to a studio to a 2 bedroom. So I don't want to get rid of too much stuff because then I won't really have anything in my. Initially, I won't have really anything in my apartment then if I get rid of everything. But if I don't get rid of enough stuff, I won't be able to fit everything nicely in the studio for those couple months. I mean, even it's going to be crowded in that studio, but it'll only literally be for a couple months. So I can deal with it being a little tight in there for a couple months. And most of the time, since most of the time I will be working this summer, I won't, or traveling, or visiting family in another state, I won't even be in the apartment um, for a lot of the time. So that makes me feel a little bit better because I do get a little claustrophobic, but I won't be in there that whole time. She's got so much clothes. Eventually, I'm gonna have to get rid of some of this stuff because she doesn't wear it like this. I don't think she's ever worn this, so I'm gonna put that in the box packing pile, because she won't wear that. I don't know if she'll wear this ever. She might have, but I think that'll go in the, because I don't see myself putting that on her. But yeah, I have all the stuff that they just don't wear because I don't get around to putting them in the outfit, and then I lose, like, I don't like the outfit anymore, and then but luckily it'll just go to the dolls that I send home outfits with. So that's good. It's not like the outfit's going to waste. If I don't use it for Emerson, it'll go to another person. But she has a lot of clothes. She has a dress. She has worn this in pictures. It's like light green. You can't see it because I'm under here. And it's dark under this, under the bed. But she has worn that. So. Oh, yes, you're the one buying Darren. Yes. Darren's actually right next to me. Right over here. In the bouncer. So yeah, that's Darren. Darren. Oh, I forgot to tell people. Darren is sold. I think I marked him as sold on Facebook and on my Instagram, but I didn't say anything here on YouTube. Yes, Darren is sold. Darren is sold on a payment plan. So as soon as he's paid up, he will be going home with all his little items and stuff. I have a bit of stuff for him, so he'll go home with all of that. I love little sweatpants. They're so cute. But yeah, Darren's going home at some point. Darren is so cute. Like I'm so happy that this Darren turned out okay because the if you guys have been to around my channel for as long as I started painting, um, you know about the previous Darren that I tried to make. The previous Darren that I tried to make, I had a different oven back then. Keep in mind, it was a cheap version of the New Wave oven from Walmart. The oven melted his poor head. Um, so he never survived. I had to end up throwing his kit away when I tried to make him the first time because there's just no really saving that. And he was like so close to being done too. It was so devastating. I was like so close to being done with him. He at that point that was the darkest skin tone I had made. It was just devastating. Um, but yeah, poor Darren. That poor Darren number one did not make it at all. So yeah, when this Darren turned out okay, I was like, thank goodness. I don't know if I would ever try a Darren again if he didn't turn out well. I would have just said, nope, this kit is cursed for me. We're not gonna do it. Yeah, exactly. I made it up with this one because that that Darren definitely was not salvageable. Look how cute these are. It's like a little. It's like a tutu with little leggings on it. I got it from Walmart when they were having their clearance. She also has never worn that. That beeping is my oven for Presley. I'll get him out in a second. Love this oven. That's a new wave oven. It works so much better, so much more consistent with the temperature because that like Walmart oven did work for a while, but towards the end of its life, it started spiking in temperature randomly. And that's how that Darren ended up melting because it just randomly one day decided to spike in temperature. And I stepped away to do something real quick. And when I came back, he was already melted. So she has so many pair of overalls. I love overalls. They're like my favorite. I'm gonna start a whole separate pile for the overalls because there's so many. Okay, and then we'll move this here. But yeah, like if I didn't like reborning, I would have given up at that point because it's like I had put so much work into him just for him to melt. I would have been just like, nope, okay, it's not worth it. But I do. I love painting. I love making these dolls. I love making people happy with the dolls because it's something that I can do to help people right now because I'm not a doctor yet, but it's still something I can do that makes people feel good, if that makes sense. Like, I can't practice medicine quite yet, but I can still make someone's day better with the reborns buying one of my dolls. Makes a lot of people's days better. She has so many. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize how many overalls and like rompers she has. I love the rompers and the overalls because they're easy outfits. They're just like one thing. You just put it on them and like put a onesie underneath and that's a whole outfit right there. Hello. It's super easy. That's why I have so many. Um she's also got a lot of onesies because that's what I again, like I said, I put them under the um the rompers and stuff. She doesn't have as many pants as I thought. So I might have to get her a couple pants because she looks like she doesn't have that many. I don't know. I'm always running out of pants for some reason. I like this dress too, so maybe I'll keep this dress. I was trying to debate if I wanted to keep this dress or not. I think I will. For now, at least. This, I'm finally going to get rid of. It's been worn by several of my dolls, my collection babies. And I think it's finally time to retire it and pass it on. It's Baby Gap. It's like a little sweater romper. It's really nice quality, soft. But yeah, they've worn that to enough on my page, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. Not get rid of it, but like send it on to the next person who orders a 3-month size girl. Ah, phone keeps slipping because the other thing holding it up was slipping. There we go. Close to finishing her drawer. She's got, oh, maybe not that close. She's got a bunch of stuff over here. Uh, Her drawer is going to take a long time, I think, if I don't hurry up. I'm chatting so much. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Yeah, I would love to see them. I love when I get updated pictures of the dolls that I've made. Um, I enjoy seeing them and being loved and um, all that. So yeah, definitely send me some pictures. He was definitely one of my favorites. I think his mottling is some of the best mottling I've done. So you got a good one there for sure. All my babies that I paint, I try my best on. So I'm not saying that I don't try on all of them. Just some of them come out a little bit better than others. Um, and he was one of those that came out what I think was pretty well. Um, I really like that's the reborn cannon I'm talking about that I made. Um, he's really cute. By the way, I am open for customs. I'm usually open for customs unless I say that I'm not, but it's safe to assume for the most part that I am always open for customs. And I will try to keep my customs open unless I'm just going through something, because what you see a lot of times is a lot of artists who do biracial African American dolls of color, Hispanic dolls, their customs are never open. They never are doing customs. They never take customs. And it's really frustrating to find an artist that does take customs, that does African American dolls. So I didn't want to contribute to that issue. So it's really difficult. Dewy skin. No, I have not. I haven't tried dewy skin because a lot of people like the texture that I do have on my dolls, which is kind of like a, I don't know, it's like velvety. You know what I'm talking about. But I want to try. There's this like technique that I saw this lady do on her dolls, that how she textures the skin. Um, that I've been wanting to try. I don't think it's the dewy skin. It's something different. She mixes like satin varnish, the thick medium. She mixes in the matte varnish, and it gives them a nice like raised texture of like skin, actual skin. It looks like actual skin. So I'm gonna be trying that soon, eventually. Um, Maybe I might try that on the realborn Tessa that I'm gonna paint for myself. That way, if I mess it up, at least it's for a collection doll, and I could start it over, and there's no push for me to hurry up and sell it. So I'll probably try that on her, just because it'll be convenient. Um, she's actually on my table, but I haven't done anything with her. She's just sitting on the rack. You might have seen her in the background. She is not available, but like I said, Presley will be. Where does this go? Okay, this goes here. But I do want to try different textures because, I'm always looking to do something new. Though I tried a new shading technique on the Realborn Dustin that I did, and I hated it, so I will not be trying that again. It just came out so unevenly blended, which is why I ended up selling him for so cheap. Because, like I said, I know when my work is not up to par for my standards, and he definitely wasn't. He was still cute, so he still was worthy of being sold, but he was not exactly what I expected. But like I said earlier in this live, you live, you learn. Especially me as a new artist, you live, you learn. She has so much clothes. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize it was this many. I'm gonna get rid of that. Don't no, actually no, I'm gonna get rid of this instead. This, and I will get rid of this. They've worn this a couple times, enough times that I can safely say it's time to get rid of it. It's like a little sweatshirt they've worn a bunch. Okay, we're making progress here. I'm almost done with the drawer. Maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I'm always open. Hi. Yeah, I definitely, yeah, no, I'm not gonna want, I don't want to be one of those artists who think that their work is the best it can be, because I feel like that's just like, even, even, even the prototype artists that I've talked to, they always still feel like they could get better, which at that point I'm like, could you? You're like amazing, but they always still think they can get better, and I think that's what makes them so great. Um, that they always feel like they can improve, that they're never done learning how to be better. Maybe that's what makes them great. I don't know. Just the theory. That's the theory. That can go. I already have a pair of pants in that color. For her, she doesn't need two pairs of pants in the same color, that's for sure. That's overdoing it. See, here's another overall. I took our Valentine's Day pictures in this overall, this burgundy color. I love these. Like, they're like corduroy texture. I love the corduroy feeling stuff. But like so yeah, for I plan on like probably rechanging when I start making that money from when I get an actual job starting this summer. I'll probably start moving towards getting more stuff like more Kate Quinn, more like I want to start shopping H&M, Zara Baby, that kind of like aesthetic, that neutral, nice, soft looking stuff instead of more of this colorful stuff like the Carters and the that kind of stuff. Just because I really like that style more so, but it's never been affordable for me as an college student. But now I'll be making decent money even more so. So uh, yeah, definitely looking forward to changing their outfits, their style. I've already done that for the boys. Like most of the newborn boy stuff I have now is actually more neutral Carter stuff or Kate Quinn, kind of that vibe. So I've definitely already started going down that path, um, just not for the girls yet. So we'll get there. That'll be a further down the months long down the line type of deal, changing out their aesthetic, I guess you would call it. um, I would love to get into reborning, but I don't think I could do the painting. I think it's worth the try. I mean, yes, the items can get expensive to start off with, but if you end up not doing well, or you give up, um, not necessarily give up, but realize this is not something for you that makes you happy, and it might not be something you're good at. You think you won't get much better. You can resell the supplies. You might not get everything you spent back, but you'll get most of what you paid for, especially because right now a lot of places are out of stock of a lot of things. So if you bought something and then event and then it went out of stock, you could resell it, and you should be able to have no problem reselling the supplies. So I think it's worth trying, um, because you never know. And you don't even have to start with the whole kit. You can start with just buying a technique test piece. Like, you don't have to buy a whole kit. A lot of people don't realize that. That if you're wanting to start out and you're just wanting to try to see how it feels to paint them, or you want to just see what it looks like to paint them, the process, you can buy test pieces. So you'll get like an arm or a leg and you can practice on there. instead of ruining or spending money on a whole entire kit. And usually the test pieces are like $4, so it's definitely worth it. Um, if you're wondering how I started out, like exactly the items that I bought and how I saved a lot of money when I started out, I made a whole video about it. It's like further down on my channel somewhere. I think it's like starting reborning cheap or something, how to reborn cheaply. Um, it definitely worked for starting out. And like I said, I didn't spend nearly as much money as I see other videos when they talk about buying supplies to start out. Because you actually need like a lot less than you would think you would need. And you don't have to buy the best brushes. You don't have to buy the best oven when you're just starting out. Just know eventually you'll have to get a better oven if you continue painting, which is what I did um, when that oven quit on me finally. But that oven, even though it eventually quit and started malfunctioning, it lasted me, I think, like 10 months. So that was definitely enough to start and know that I was decent at it so that I could then rationalize spending. It was only $100 for my oven. Um, Spending the extra $100 to buy a new oven and continue painting. So I quickly obviously made that money back because I continued to paint. Um, so yeah, definitely check out that video if you are thinking about starting and you want to save money starting. It's a very good starting point. I'm not like other people who are like won't tell you where I got things or how much I spent. Um, I think I even put links in that video. Um, but yeah, I bought like the cheapest brushes at first and didn't have any issues. I still have some of the brushes actually that I started out with, and they're fine. So you don't always have to buy the most expensive things if they work the same. They work the same. But yeah, I see people all the time. They're like, "Well, my brushes were $40 for the set." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" I, as a college student, when I started, I would never be able to rationalize spending that money on that. It makes it seem so inaccessible for people to start. Now, like I said earlier in the video, you won't be profiting right away, but that's just because it takes time to build your talent or build a clientele and build a business, basically. That's what you're doing, is building a side business. That's what I call it anyway. It's, for me, it's a side business. I never wanted to make it my main job because that would take away the fun for me. And plus, selling reborns, like I think I also made a video about this, but selling reborns is not a good main business or main job because the buying and selling the buying and selling climate, like the buying climate, it changes so much. Like you'll have times where it's really ridiculously hard to sell a doll because everyone's selling at the same time, or you'll have times where just no one's buying because during the month they used all their money on like bills and stuff, so they don't have any extra money to spend on a doll. So it's really like, I guess that's true for any kind of business that's not a necessity. um, you're going to have times where you are going to have trouble selling your product, and that is definitely true for reborns. um, so that's why, like, I always caution people. Like, I have people message me like, well, I want to start this to make money. I'm like, you don't want to do that. You do not want to rely on reborns unless you become somehow overnight a prototype artist. It's going to put you in a hole before you are able to come back from that. Or if you, unless you get like a whole bunch of customs, because that's guaranteed money. At least customs are. But if you're making dolls to sell, yeah, it's not. It's definitely not guaranteed money. So yeah, I always caution people. I'm like, do not. And I was watching this video, and they actually made the like so much worse because I had to like comment and tell people, no, do not try this just to get rich, because you won't you won't get rich um, unless you're selling a. Oh my gosh, I just think about the amount of people, the people that sell like one doll for like $1,000. I'm like, dang, that's all I make in a month. um, but yeah, I had the comment on that video. I was like, no, because it was a video about a lady who makes reborns, and she was like, this is my side hustle, and I make a bunch of money doing it. And I was like, and then I saw people commenting, oh, I'm gonna start doing this too, so I can make a bunch of money. And I'm like, no, 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 do not do that. Because you also have to think about it. If there's a bunch of artists out there, that means that's less opportunity for individual people to make money. So like, the more artists there are, the harder it's gonna be to sell the dolls. So that's also not good. Like a bunch of people were saying that they wanted to do it. I encourage people to do it, but at the same time, I don't want everyone to start making these dolls, because then it won't be as special, won't be as new. Yeah, competition, exactly. Yeah, it would not be beneficial for anyone involved. So I do encourage people to start, but at the same time, just be realistic about your talent, be realistic about the money you're going to make, be realistic about the fact that this is not a stable business. Yeah, see, I understand that. I completely understand that. If you're just reborning dolls for yourself, that's that's definitely valid and fun, and that's what I started off doing. Like I said, I started off painting just for myself, to have a doll that represents a person of color that wasn't $800 for one doll. Um, and like, yes, I get that a lot of these dolls are worth that, but at that time when I was looking around back a couple years ago, the dolls that were selling for that price were not well painted. So I was like, I'm definitely not paying that. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. Just because a doll is darker in skin tone, you're just gonna overprice that? No, thank you. I will not be buying. Um, I will not be buying that. So I started making my own. But yeah, I'm waiting for him to cool down a little bit. But I'm gonna put a layer, the base tones on him, and I'm quickly gonna explain how I paint, because now I paint differently. I do have a set of tutorials on my channel, but that was back when I think I'd only been painting for like 6 months at that time. They're still good videos, which is why I haven't taken them down, but it does not reflect how I get my skin tones anymore, because I had just started. But I wanted to start, like, I wanted to make those tutorials so people could understand, you know, here's the starting point. This is easy for you. You can kind of follow along. It's quite easy, but I wanted people to have a free resource for tutorials to start somewhere, because all the tutorials for darker skin tones, you have to pay like $300 for. Um, Whereas you could see a million and one reborn tutorials on YouTube for little white babies. There's just so many of them, and then there's none for dolls of color. Even though I was a beginner artist, very, very beginner artist, I wanted to, you know, give something out, put something out there that kind of tells you at least some colors to mix. Because I was like, where the hell do I even start with colors and stuff? And how do I start? Because it's different, painting. Um, Me there, they are for me. Yeah. So he's cool enough. So basically, now when I paint, most of the skin tone that you see from my dolls come from the shading and the mottling. Um, I only do a couple of base tones, which is what I'm going to do, at least one base tone on him tonight. Probably only one, because I'm exhausted. I barely slept last night and had a busy day, and it's getting time towards when I would eat. So I'm only going to do one layer on him, but it'll show you what I mean by I just do like 1 or 2 base tones. If I'm going for a darker skin tone, which I am for him, I will do 3 of these base tones. And then everything else, all the other color, comes from the shading and the mottling. So I'll do these are the steps I go through now. I do veins and undertones. He's just going to be darker, so I didn't want to do really undertones on him because it wouldn't really show through anyway. So I do veins first, then I do the base tones, then I start the shading layers. And while I do the shading layers, I'll do a couple other things like if I need to do color correction or towards the end of the shading layers, I will start the creases. I'll build up creases while I'm finishing off the shading layers. So a lot of these steps I do at the same time. So once I finish the shading layers, then I'll do the blushing on the face and the first layer blushing on the hands and feet. Then once I'm finished blushing, then I will do the second layer of creases usually. And then from there, it's really just finishing details. So like eyebrows and nails, I do all that in the same bake. So that saves a lot of time that I have to do baking if you can do multiple steps in one bake. So that's pretty much the steps that I follow. Now it's become really like a rhythm for me. So I don't even think about it most of the times when I'm painting. Of course, I forgot to mention that I do lips while that I am building up the shading layers. So lips will be done before usually the blushing is done. So they kind of look a little crazy there for a little bit, but that should tell you kind of like my process. And additionally, now when I paint my layers, when I paint almost all of my layers, including what I'm about to do, the base tone, I have a little bit of thinning medium in the base tones, and then I'll have a lot more of the thinning medium in the shading layers because it makes the paint thicker but not darker. So that's the key. That's why thinning medium is so good for skin tones because it makes the paint not runny, so you can put it where you want it to go and you can blend it. That's why I use more in the shading layers because it really, really helps with blending, and it doesn't dry out really quick. And yeah, it's since I've found thinning medium, it's helped so much. And I'll use less thinning medium in the mottling layers than I do in the shading layers, but more thinning medium than in the base tone layers. Don't know how confusing that sounded, but for me it made sense. I don't know. Can you use a regular oven? It is not recommended at all because of the fumes. So no, if you plan on using that oven for actual food, it's a very bad idea because it's not the paints itself that is the problem. Genesis heat set paints are non-toxic. It's the baking of the vinyl that gives off fumes. So my room is pretty damn well ventilated, so I don't really have problems with the fumes. But if you're in a small area with not good ventilation, it's a very bad idea to do Genesis heat set paints. And like I said, yeah, doing a regular oven you can, but also you can't really regulate the temperature that well on a regular oven too. So that's also not a great idea. But yeah, definitely would not at all recommend a regular oven. It's very very difficult to make sure that bakes at a consistent temperature. And then again, like I said, if you want to use that for food, you don't want to do that. I don't think you want vinyl fumes in your food. And like the thing about the vinyl fumes, it doesn't even matter how well you clean the oven afterwards because there will still be like lingering particles in the oven. Um, so yeah, it's dangerous to do that. I know people who do it and they swear that they're fine, but don't know if they'll be saying that years from now that they're fine. So see how that turns out. So for his base tones, I'm just going to be doing a base of what's called, I think I'll do a base of Flesh O2 because, like I said, I'm going for a darker tone. So Flesh O2 is, where is it? Where did I put it? And then for the shading layers, you want to do the shading layers obviously darker than the base tone because that's how you start building up color. So when I do his shading, I will be using a mixture of raw umber, um, Flesh O2, and probably towards the end of the shading, some eyelid purple to give him a nice purple tone. Because another thing that is a mistake that a lot of people make, and I still make it sometimes, is that these dolls are not just brown. We're not just brown. So, and by we, I mean like people of color. We're not just brown. We have different tones in us. And so I've been, practicing now, adding more tones in, which is where that eyelid purple will come in, add some different tones to him. So he's not just like brown. Like that's a brown doll, just brown. That's actually the one of the mistakes that girl made who made that really bad Nino. She just had one skin tone, like no shading. He was just black, like black, just black. And I was like, oh God, girl, you need help. Someone help. But like I said, she didn't want actual advice apparently. So right now I'm mixing in the base layer of the Flesh O2, which looks kind of like, I don't know if you can see. It's darker, but it's not like super dark, which is why it's a good base for his skin tone. And like I said, I do a lot more. I use Gamsol, to thin out my paints. That's what I use as the base to mix the paints into. And then I'll, like I said, for this step, I'll use just a little touch, just a little tip of the brush of thinning medium to make it a little bit less runny. But for the most part, it is mostly that Gamsol thinner. Like, you can see it's kind of soupy. I don't know if you can. Like, gosh. I'm trying to show it. It's kind of too soupy right now. You see how it's running around? That's why I add a little bit thinning medium, because then it'll just like keep running, and I don't want that to happen. Makes it hard to get the excess paint off when it's just like running around like that. But you don't want to make it too thick, because then that's how you get a chalky looking doll. It's a very delicate balance between too thin, too thick. But like I said, the good thing about this thinning medium is it doesn't it thickens the paint without darkening it or making it chalky. I know it's called thinning medium, which is weird, but it does make the paint actually thicker. I don't know why. I don't know why really it's called thinning medium. They have a thick medium, which is, I guess, thicker. So maybe that's why they call this one thinning medium. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. Makes no sense to me. But yeah. So that's what I'm doing for him. Just this Flesh O2 is really like a nice brown, but it has, I guess, like reddish tones to it as well. So it's not really a neutral brown on its own. So I would this is always good advice that I give to people. If you are unfamiliar with the color wheel, you can look online and print one out and have that to reference. So, for example, if your doll is getting too red, you could do a thin layer of mint green, and that'll counteract that red because they're opposite on the color wheel. So, knowing the color wheel is very important, I would say, to painting these dolls. So basically, I'm just kind of updating you guys on how I paint. We did some organizing. Oh, Also, you guys, since you're here, you get to know exactly what my giveaway is going to be. I wanted to announce it, but announce it first for you guys on live because you're watching it, so you get to see, you get the for sticking around, you get to know what my giveaway will be, which I'm going to be announcing actually on Wednesday because Wednesday is the 2-year anniversary of my channel. So I'm adding the paint right now. Um, so yeah, Wednesday the 17th, which is actually St. Patrick's Day. I didn't even realize that. I believe, if I remember correctly, that is the 2-year anniversary of my channel. And if it's not, it's close enough, so it's fine. But I do believe that's actually exactly 2 years. So the giveaway is going to be a surprise baby. So I will pick a winner, and it'll very, very likely be a newborn kit that's asleep. And all the details, you won't know the kit. You won't know if I'm going to add hair or not. I likely will add at least a little bit of hair, do a little bit of combing, probably. You're not going to know the kit. You're not going to know the skin tone I choose. It's going to be like a complete surprise for whoever gets the baby. So I hope, whoever gets it does a box opening because think how fun that will be. It'll be a complete surprise. I'm gonna pick a kit that I think most people like. I already have the kit in mind, um, so I'm not gonna pick like a random weird kit um, that people have torn reactions on. It's a kit that a lot of people like, but it's not extremely popular. And I definitely haven't seen many non-white versions of this kit, so I've been excited to paint it anyway. So I was like, this is a great idea. Let's do that for my giveaway. So that will be the giveaway. It'll be a surprise baby. So I hope people are excited about that. I know certain people don't like surprises. So they might be kind of disappointed, but I mean, you're getting a free baby. So that's pretty exciting to me. I mean, I would be excited. As with all my giveaways, though, you will have to pay shipping, which is only 20 for a newborn size baby anyway. That's regardless of where it is in the U.S. Um, but yeah, that's just because I don't want to lose too much money on doing something for free, but because it gets expensive. I mean, to create one doll, the kit I have in mind is already $100, and you got a glass beads, hair, stuffing like the polyfill, paint, etc., etc. Costs add up, but it's definitely time for another giveaway for my channel. So take advantage of this being my anniversary. We're gonna do a little giveaway, and it'll even be a surprise of if I send it home as a boy or a girl, and then once they receive the doll, even if they don't do a giveaway, a box opening. Once after they receive the doll, then I'll post the pictures of the doll so people could see what kit it was, how it turned out after the person receives it, obviously. So I think it'll be really fun. I've seen a couple people do surprise babies, and it's kind of like when you're expecting a real baby. You don't know really exactly how that baby's gonna look. Yeah, you can do like ultrasounds and stuff, but you don't really know exactly how that baby's gonna look. You don't know the skin tone for sure. You don't know anything. You don't know the hair. Um, and if you keep the sex a surprise, you don't know that either. So I'm going for a complete surprise experience here. So should be fun. Should be fun. At least it'll be fun for me. So how you will enter is Wednesday. I'm going to make a video explaining all the rules, um, what the giveaway is, all of that will be on Wednesday, and that is the only place you'll be able to enter. If you try to say enter me on any other video, that won't count. To keep it fair and to keep it all in one place so I don't have to go searching around a million videos of mine. We're going to keep it all in one video like I always do my giveaways. Um, and to start off with, to keep it fair, I do one entry per one person for one person. Um, and it depends on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I'll do opportunities to do additional um, entries, but that can get kind of messy and complicated. So for the most part, for most of my giveaways, it's just one entry, one per one person, to keep it nice and even playing field, keep it fair, you know, because not everyone. A lot of people, like, when you do giveaways, they're like, if you share this giveaway, you'll get, additional entries, and that can kind of get a little unfair because a lot of people don't have social medias, or they don't have social medias that they feel comfortable sharing the dolls on. So it's like, I don't really want to do that, but I have done it before and it went okay, but it did leave out some people. So I don't really want to do that, like, for additional um, entries. But what I might do for additional entries is do something similar that I've done before for a giveaway, where I had people guess, like, the amount of bows I had. I'll probably do something very similar, like guess how many pacifiers I have with me in my dorm. I think that'll likely be what will happen if I do end up saying, "Well, here's a opportunity for additional entries," and the people, I'll probably do like the top three people who get the closest number would get additional entries. So keep a lookout for that too. That'll probably be something I end up doing, just to make it more fun for people. Um, so they would get additional entries if they're close. But yeah, I love doing giveaways when I can afford it. um, and obviously, I got a stimulus check. Well, my mom got additional stimulus money for me, so she'll be sending that. But most of that will be going to paying my deposit. But what I'm saying is, I'm not like running out of money, so I can do a giveaway right now, for sure, and be fine financially. Um, so that's why I'm doing one now, and like I said, 2 year anniversary, so big deal. I can't believe I've been able to keep up with this channel and do all the freaking things that I do on a weekly basis with classes. I have a work study job. I do the reborning. I have friends. I have, like, family. It's just a lot. I do a lot more than I would say most college students do on a daily basis. Um, but that's my life. I've gotten mostly used to it. So even though I'm stressed, I'm always stressed. So, you know, it's kind of my normal. My normal baseline is always kind of just a little bit stressed. Right now, what I'm doing is getting the excess paint out of the creases. And this is just a makeup brush that I got from Family Dollar. So that's what I mean by, like, you don't have to buy expensive things, and it works really well. I don't know if you can tell anything in this lighting. When how it looks on camera is very different than how I see it in person, but you can see that he definitely has paint on him, even from this one layer. Like, that's the blank color, and that's, yeah, you can see, kind of, just one layer makes a difference, really, when I do it this way. Whereas if you paint how I did in my old tutorials, it'll take a while to build up the color because the paint layers were so thin. He is blended and looking good. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I just wanted to update you guys on some things and give you a little teaser about the giveaway. My mom doesn't miss me at all. She calls me literally multiple times a day, and I saw her for her birthday, which was literally March 5th. So she doesn't miss me really that much. I don't think, anyway. Who knows? But I see her enough. um, but yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll probably eat dinner after I do this layer of paint on him, and then take some Benadryl because I actually have to sleep tonight. Like, I didn't sleep last night. I need to sleep tonight because of my exam tomorrow. So yeah, just keep a lookout. Wednesday is the day that I'll be putting that video out, and all the information will be all in that video. And if I forget something, I will make sure to put it in the description. I don't have any melatonin, but Benadryl works the same. But yeah, I will talk to you guys. I will see you guys actually Wednesday for that. So, bye.